Welcome back. Recklessness. How are we doing this at the driving school?
It's time for you boys to get reckless.
So this one you get more time instead of dealing damage to your opponents being the key idea. The whole combat system is definitely a lot less fleshed out here, it's feeling like. Oh, and how many opponents you take out. So essentially the same in terms of what our rate is for. So it's not just for getting more time that you attack your opponents. Okay, do not try to rush immediately. It is odd though, because you can't go too fast if you have to destroy your opponents, because you don't want to go too far ahead of your opponents. Also, you need your boat to not be destroyed, presumably. I'm not quite sure how you want to balance that though, because the game doesn't tell you beforehand, I don't think, how many knockouts you have to get. Yeah, sometimes the boost does basically nothing. Is that Spongebob's house? Did we not see anybody else's house there, or did I just not notice it? Yeah, sometimes I have a really hard time. Shady chills. Yeah, what are we doing here? This is the cool route to go, apparently. Fairly a long trip. Oh, jeez. Okay, apparently being knocked out once is actually perfectly fine. We were doing perfectly fine on that after having some trouble with the other one, but same thing. So I have no idea how much better I did than I need to do there, to be perfectly honest. Spongebob, okay. Random thing didn't live in the show. This isn't even the only game with Spongebob in it, for some reason. I thought it was weird it was in Truth or Square as well. Darn it. So is the time part of your grade just how long it takes you to finish the race in general, or is it how much time you have left when you finish the race? Because if it's just how much time you have left when you finish the race, that's pretty strongly correlated with how many times you knock out your opponents anyways. Plus, you have to keep up with your opponents, so it's not like there's that much possible variation. I don't get credit for sending me a jellyfish, that's annoying. I need you guys to drive well, so that I can be the one that knocks you out. See, stuff like that is not good. I need to always be moving whenever I hit someone. Trophy for something. I didn't know trophies were a thing. I got an award. Well, the game does tell you how far you are in the lap, I guess. Or maybe just the race as a whole, I don't know, on the bottom screen. Yeah, how far you are in the lap, it looks like. Alright, apparently getting knocked out once is perfectly fine. We're still working with pretty small sums of money here. Class R exams already. 2 events.
Oh yeah.
We're in Mrs. Puff's classroom. Yeah, there at least says Mrs. Puff in the background on the black. Yes, that's the face of laughter. And that's... I don't think Squidward's mouth is usually entirely lips like that. It's a good choice of color for Squidward's dialogue too, actually. Wonderful. It's really it shows to have a steering wheel spin instead of an actual tire spinning.
3, 2,
Hey, isn't this supposed to be a Class R exam?
go!
Why do I have to... Why is this incorporating elements of D? This is a cumulative exam. I don't know what I got that trophy for. I have to check that. Come on. It is weirdly difficult to actually hit your opponents. There you go. You need to figure out how to have everyone pass you without you getting hurt yourself. Okay, I'm doing this really slowly, I think. I think the thing is you need a certain amount of distance to... Even that sometimes it just doesn't do anything when you hit your opponents. So knowing an opponents actually hit jellyfish and get knocked out that way. Come on! I have 2 of them at least that are almost knocked out. There, jeez. Yeah, that took a while. Is Rex how many Rex I have, or how many Rex my opponent has? I guess it might be my boat condition and how many Rex I had. So that's like 2 counters, 2 grades on how much damage I took, basically, maybe? And otherwise, like, it's a fixed number of knockouts I'm doing, so I guess those are both for me. That's kind of weird, though.
3, 2, 1, go!
At times it feels like I managed to just barely tap an enemy and still deal damage to them. Other times it feels like I managed to hit someone decently hard and nothing happens. I really don't have this system figured out yet. Sorry, I couldn't boost there. See? Nothing happens as I hit him. worked out as fairly cheap though, and hitting walls is not even a problem, surprisingly. Ah. Yeah, lighting... What to do when I accidentally pass my opponents is still something I haven't quite figured out. Ah. Somehow I seem to be getting good marks on these breakfast exams, although I honestly don't know how. So I don't feel like I'm doing any better at them than the others. That one was... So is total race time actually how much time I take? But then I have to follow my opponents, don't I? It's odd. I don't know if it actually matters what grade you get everywhere in this game, so we'll see. Here we go. Now, well, complete last repairs. That is weird. Everything's racing in this game. That's actually really opposite of what the console version was, where it was demolition derby first and foremost.
Hey.
They're a little bit more on the nose about this guy in this version of the game, I would say. Like how Sandy smiles as she expresses her suspicion. Control the other hazards, namely other drivers.
Ready for your next class?
This is a very, very different paradigm than the console version, entirely. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's kind of weird. There'd be such a strong focus on combat while still making you go around laps. And the opponents don't seem all that aggressive in their own right either. Come on. I just one-shot Sandy. The AI picked up the money for me, great. I got every single time it tells you cheapest repairs in town. And I realize it is pretty cheap. Hey, I didn't get the money that the AI picked up for me. I'm not sure what the money's for, though. Oh. I barely get to choose characters here? Do I get to choose characters in the driving school? Here we go. These are things I can buy, apparently? Oh, wait. No, that's just a place I can buy stuff to put there. That's not what I'm looking for. I can change the top, I can change the wall, change the floor. Well, cool, but can I just look at my trophy? What's the giant fish trophy for? I put stuff behind it. How do I actually... I have no idea how to actually look more closely at that thing. I have to pay money for to unlock vehicles too. So we've got the longboat, got the hovercraft, sub, but there's another longboat. No, and the tugboat, the small tugboat. So different characters have different boats? No? I don't know if there's any reason to use one boat over another. Using the dinghy here. They all... Whoa. You need a lot for that one. Yeah, the tugboat is quite expensive. They actually cost different amounts. So maybe that's one thing that I need to survive later in the game. Well, they actually have different stats though, on the top screen too. Steering, speed, and... Wait, is that the boat or the character? Or is it both? Okay, so each character has... I guess each character has stats already? You have to pay for the characters too. Story mode. That was also more expensive. Who has stats that are nice for me? Spongebob is actually quite fast. I think I noticed that. And he's not very strong, I could tell. Patrick is very strong. Wait, no. Hold on. And Patrick still does a lot of damage. Actually, does it depend on the boat at all? It does, but the character changes a lot too. I think Say would do more damage. She's actually really balanced. And her worst is damage. Spongebob's balanced. Patrick is really strong apparently, but slow. Balanced, but more towards steering. Pretty strong actually. Actually basically same as Patrick, very remarkably. A bit more balanced, but towards strength. Really bad steering, interesting. Well, we should try out Patrick, and of course I can also see what the different boats do for us stat-wise too. That does change our stats somewhat. Steering's worse. And the top speed's slightly better. It's mostly the character that determines what your stats are, even if you're using a stupidly expensive boat. That's interesting. Anyways, next time we'll try out Patrick, if the game lets us do that, which I didn't expect to be able to have Patrick take Spongebob's driving test, but why not? Bye everyone.